Sometimes you gotta stay on your grind and show 'em that you never look. I don't think small, I think big, and move heavyweight, and every step concrete. Vision so loud, even silence me. I was built before this day, pick the teams. I came from nothing, but a nerve of belief, and turned late nights into this permanent peace. They still asking how, I just execute plans, and while they watching the wave, I'm controlling the sand. Big energy, room get tense when I enter. I don't need introductions, the presence remember. Pressure never cracked me, it's sharp in my center. I was forced in the dark, and now I glow with no effort. I don't chase no moment, I bend time instead. And every loss paying interest, now I'm multiplying bread. I don't flex for approval, I approve what I need. If they question the value, I don't answer, I live. Big vision, I see past the frame. They playing checkers while I'm rewriting the game. I don't move off hype, I move off truth. That's why they come here harder than your loudest move. I've been quiet with power, that's the deadliest type. When the work's so real that you don't need to recite. They confuse my patience for me losing steam. I was stacking up leverage, building B.I.G. Big flows, no cap in my breath. I don't pay for the win, I prepare for the test. Every scar on my back and got a story attached. Every step I survive and put momentum on that. That talk legacy, I'm living it now. Every choice I make got tomorrow around. I don't build bridges, I build whole roads. So I elevate now, everybody knows what. I'm big power, you feel me before I speak. Even doubters go quiet when the truth is clean. I don't rush destiny, I walk it down. And when you solid like this, the whole world adjusts now. Yeah, think big, move big, stay big. This ain't luck, this is discipline. And what? If you still dreaming small, don't blink. Cause I just turned pressure into the B.I.G. and who? I woke up new, the same soul, new skin, same wardrobe, but the peace built in. I had to lose my edge just to find my tone. Had to break that cage just to call it home. Used to beg for the world just to know my name. Now I walk through the doubt like it's old domain. Ain't no crown gon' fit, this the truth I grew. Had to shed that hurt just to shine that blue. Still see ghosts when I pass that black. Still hear lies, they hear what's taught, but I smile now. Yeah, I learned that code. Every loss was a step in the road I own. Yeah, I woke up new, but I'm still that flame. Still root, still tone, still soul, still name. I had to die in the dark just to learn my hue. Still me, still true, just woke up new. I've been going through the fires that the world don't see. Learn that God don't talk, he hums through me. Used to run from pain like it wore my face. Now I sit with fear, poor teammates space. Every no I met was a quiet door. Every fall I took built the wings I wore. Ain't chase lane, I became that meme. Ain't chase peace, I outgrew the scream. They said change up, I said nah, evolve. Now I lost my past, it's all too soft. Every pierce I made, pray for proof. You don't need more, you need more truth. Yeah, I wake up new, but I'm still that flame. Still root, still tone, still soul, still name. Had to die in the dark just to learn my hue. Still me, still true, just woke up new. The mirror said, look, don't stare too long, cause the past still sing in the old sad song. But I hung back low like a sacred key. Still pain, still peace, still harmony. Now I walk with calm that the storm can't shake. Talk less, but the ground still quake. Every scar I wear still shine like art. Every loss I met, it just turned my heart. Ain't no crown that can top self-knowing. Ain't no grave that can stop what's growing. the root, still breath and still flame, still hue, still rise, still rain. I just woke up new. Yeah, the old me gone, but the light came through. Still root, still flame, and still one, still true. Still God in motion. I woke up new, and this is what I'm gonna do. And who is?
I remember the nights with the fridge half bare, dreams heavy on mine, but no cash to spare. Scrolling through the feeds for world affairs, while my time clicked slow, hope looked last. I was broke on the block, still scheming away. Had a stack free game just to fit my day. Watched others shine while I stayed in the mud. I'm turning the dud to the god.
I was laughed at quick for the risks I take. Why you chasing the dreams and where the bills won't wait? But I knew in the soul I was built for more. Couldn't die in the loop of a broke man's chore. Every job I worked and put a chip in stone. Every check too small that made me cough my own. Took hits from the world, had to learn to fight. Had to build my will in the dark of night. I grew up where ambition gets smothered by blacks, and where the dreams get robbed and same hustles get watched. I learned man early, subtract big wins and multiply, survive or divide the weekends. I speak code because the streets raise me lucky. The mind stayed sharp like the blade freshly cut me. I don't talk through, I let the facts do the flexing. Rules on full pressure and think off these lessons. Cats talk money but don't work the soul. I seen rich man go try to bust the life they hold. I move smart and never lie with my plan. You progress your moves, I advance like a man. The punchlines down to take your friend. The boss hit hard like a 38 mean. I don't need hype, y'all grew up with stress. And where respect get earned, don't beg or express. I've been dead broke, still rich in spirit. Now my words cost more cause I live every lyric. I don't chase clout, I'll chase the clarity. Too many laws trying to win popularity. They want shortcuts, I want the performance. I feel slow cause fast wins temporary win. I don't glorify crime, I survive and clean. That's the difference when you live with a rhyme and a scheme. I leave rivals confused when they calm demeanor. Smile real slight while I dismantle careers. I ain't evil, I'm honest with the venom attached. Truth hit harder when delivery snap. I've been threatened since the pad met the pen. The words recognize I don't need many friends. I don't sneak this, I don't have step tongue. And when I say it, and in the sideway chalk. This is the big L energy, warm, precise. No gimmicks, no mercy, just bars on ice. If you feel this, you probably built the same. If you not on back, or this a different name. Why I came with a positive end to watch your thing change. That's what they saying, what I got in this insane brain. It's kinda crazy, you never saw my view. That's got a meme, I got a picture too. My deja vu, what a moment is. I hope a Kodak really take it. Talk about a record, you the bet I'll break it. No mistake, a nigga heading for greatness. And what you saying right now, cause I know that you patient. Waiting leave for me to get the job. Waiting for me now to hit your block. With a shot, clap, that nigga he hot. To talk about the sun, now what you think that I got? never saw the conditioning. Pain was coached, and then the pressure was the discipline. I took the losses personal, it sharpened my frame. Turned out in the drive, let the fuel my frame. I don't float in the way I can afford it to form. And built calm in the chaos, I'm the eye in the storm. I've been counting out more than I kinda need. Still 10 and 10 toes, that's a dominant win. I don't need the crowd to validate my stance. I knew I was elite before I had my chance. Forever a champion when the lows. I don't let the moment define my moves. Blood in my heart, the fire in my breath. I earned this title, surviving the test. Forever a champion, stamped in my soul. When pressure tried to break me, it made me whole. Even when the lights go dim, I stand who I am. What? Forever a champion. I train in the shadows while they played it safe. Every setback, just surrounding my range. I don't talk rings, I talk resilience. Long and G louder than the brilliance. I kept my posture when the eyes lean. Didn't panic when the vision got foggy. I don't rush crowns, I respect the timing. Greatness cooked slow, that's the perfect climate. I've been hit, I've been tested, I've been bent. Never broke through, that's a testament. I don't compete with trends or opinions. I compete who I was, that's the opponent, you get it? Forever champion when the lows. I don't let the moment define my moves. Blood in my heart, the fire in my breath. I earned this title, surviving the test. Forever champion, it's stand in my soul. When pressure tried to break me, it made me whole. Even when the lights go dim, I stand on who I am. Cause what? A champion, yeah. I've been tired in ways that sleep can't repair. Still showed up sharp and still prepared. I don't brag pain, but I honor the grind. And every scar proof that I crossed that line. That I don't fear defeat, I respect the lesson. Wins feel better when you paid attention. I stayed locked in when it wasn't fun. That's how you finish the what you begun. And I don't need belts, trophies, or applause. My confidence in turn to unbroken laws. I've been doubted, dismissed, or overlooked. Still rewrote futures, that's the way I look. A champion ain't just wings on the board. It's how you respond when your life ignore you. How you stand when the crowd get long. How you keep your faith when the crowd go gone. I don't quit when it hurt, I adapt. That's the difference between me and you and the things that you lack. I learn endurance and louder than speed. I slow grind steady. I how the legends breathe. That I don't fake strength, I built it for real. Every rep mental and every thought steel. I stay silent when temptation came and didn't sell my soul just to speak the lane. No, 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 no. I don't duck pressure. Welcome today, like I dreamt this before. The same press screen light on the bedroom floor. Same coffee going cold, same song gon' play. Same thoughts in my mind I had yesterday. Walked outside, same car, it was at this curb. A neighbor nod once with the same old word. I could swear I rehearsed every step I took. Life, my life on repeat with a copy look. At work, boss talking a speech I know. I sat through this meeting some months ago. Co-workers laugh at the same weak line, and I just smirk like I'm caught in a scripted time. I check my phone, headlines scroll, markets crash, then they rise, same highs, same lows. Politicians fight with recycled views. It's the same old debate, dressed in different news. Relationships too, I've been down that path. I met someone brand new, but I knew they laughed. Same date, same vibe, and same old excuse. Then the same slow fade, and this deja vu. Even dreams of mine like the Luto tape. And see the street, I ain't walk, but it feels in shape. Like my soul been there, like I know that cue. But my body ain't moved in the deja vu. Maybe time don't run in a straight clean line. And maybe life just repeats through the lessons of mine. And maybe every new face is an echo true. But my lifelong dawn that it comes back through. Past lives were missed, but in the choices I make. And same folk in the road, but a chance to break. If I miss it again, it will come back too. Every test rerun in the deja vu. But there's hope in the loop. If you see it clear, you can break those chains when you sign the stage and I do, cause I know I write through this whole deja vu and who we is.
Yo. It's kind of funny listening to myself sometimes and like hear myself like do these different voices. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. Like it could be like months go by and I go, So if you're making that face, I was probably making it with you. Anyway, we are back, as promised. Not every day, but consistent, more consistent than 5 months ago. You know what I mean? So what's the deal? We are gonna go over what's going on in Manifest, right? So Manifest, obviously you guys should know by now. If you don't, let's just explain it. It's an AI game that creates games, AAA games to be exact. And with these AAA games, you can actually list them in the Manifest Arcade. So that is going to be one of my last updates that I do to this game. In the meantime, I had some milestones that I said I was going to do for you guys, and I said I was going to add some things as it goes along, right? So one of those things specifically was the voice factor. Being able to talk to manifest instead of just typing the manifest. I think that's important overall because you might get lazy. I know for me, I don't want to type all day. So especially if you have a headset, you're an avid gamer, I'm sure you probably do. Turtle Beaches are pretty big, So if you got your Turtle Beach on right when you're playing manifest, it just makes sense to be able to just speak and then manifest, listen, and do the shit that you want to do. You know what I mean? So did finish that. Didn't release it yet, but I'm in the middle of testing it. So, a couple of things. There's a default voice in Manifest that I just don't like. Being straight up honest, it sounds like a heavy breathing girl, and I don't don't mean that in a negative way, but literally like when she's speaking, it's like breathing hard, and it's like making this noise when it's speaking. It's weird. I never thought AI would, go into breathing like that. And obviously, it could be many parameters of why that's happening. Like whoever recorded at the time was breathing hard. I don't know, or was running from a ghost. I don't fucking know. Either way, what what needs to happen now is I have to figure out this default voice so it actually makes sense and sounds good and actually like flows with the conversation. So here was my build process of doing this. Right, took the voice. I noticed that when I had this AI talking, depending on how long the conversation was, it tended to pause too long. And I have a RTX 490, right? So my GPU is pretty fast. It's not the newest out. It's not the newest out right now, but it's strong still, right? So if my GPU at a 490 RTX takes about 3 to 6 minutes sometimes for reply, that's a problem. So I had to think about what is the way to get around that. Then, figured out canned responses. So you're gonna see some generic responses as you're playing a game, like okay, welcome to manifest. Just basic responses that it's pretty much gonna say all the time. And then for the responses that are not frequent or common, it will actually have its generated speech. That part is not going to be perfect right away, but I will work on that consistently to make sure it is. There's nuances like, of course, you having a device that just may be a little weaker than the one I'm building on. If that's the case, you probably will have slower loading times. But ideally, I want you to be able to have a conversation with this AI. So when you say, generate this Resident Evil game, and now I may come back to you and say, okay, what type of Resident Evil game are you looking for? 1 or 7? And I use this example in the last live. But while you're conversating with it, it will be generating things, compiling shaders, and doing all this in the background. So by the time you guys are done with your conversation, your world is populated and your game should be done. So that's the goal, right? Because that just makes the whole creation process very seamless for anybody. You could be the oldest person in the world or the youngest person in the world or spank in the middle, and boom, you could generate a game. So that's ideally where I want this to go. So that's gonna take a couple more days to really just fine tune it to a point where okay, it's snappy and it gets that response out. Here's the other nuance though. I mentioned to you guys that you guys will be able to talk into your own voice, and I'm not retracting that statement or taking that feature out. But it gets a lot harder with that because now, depending on how the voice is saved, it's technically generating a response every time, and it can generate into a response in a WAV file, which is a no. Should not do that because now it takes double the time to load, which I figured out. So the only other way to do it is to create a smaller file that's almost streamed in real time. And that same canned responses need to happen while you guys are playing. So imagine the canned responses of a default manifest voice is already saved in your game, right? You get it right out the package, you have manifest, start playing. As you start training your voice, whether you're just talking to it and you allow it to auto train, or if you actually go through the training process, it will then have to regenerate those canned responses, and then it can go into the real generations. That's the fastest way that it can actually go back and forth. Other than that, it's going to be generating a new response every time, and that's what's going to slow down the responses as you guys are talking to it. So you may say something, and then 3 minutes later, you just realize it replied back. And that's really bad for the game because you want this instant ability of being able to add an object, change an object, control an NPC, change a map, add weapon systems, fighting systems, whatever it is, right? So all these things have to be in place for that to make sense. So, been working on that all day for the last 2 days to make sure that this thing works well. In other news, the demo is uploaded to Steam. Not gonna say it's launched to Steam yet because Steam has to go through it and tell us their nuances of what they see bug wise, etc. We did mention a bunch of bugs that we are aware of already, and as they go through it, I'm sure they're gonna say the same thing. The real date for this launch is really February 17th. So that gives me about 12 days now because end of the day now, right? So about 12 days to get this a little more polished than it is today. It's gonna be some shit, not gonna lie. So I'm definitely gonna be streaming a lot through on that process to, give an update exactly what's going on and where I see manifest going in the next few days. But ideally, I think the voice system shouldn't take more than another day. At least I'm not going to give it more another day because we just got more to do. There's driving systems and mechanics that I have to do. Not just driving the car, but having damage included. So if you crash your car, it shows the damage in a nice, cool way, etc. Right? So you got to be able to add that to your game, especially if you're going more for like an open world concept where the city, other cars, racing, whatever it is. Any of those type of topics in gaming need wreckage and stuff included in the game to make it more realistic as you're playing, unless you just want this sci-fi type of game, which obviously that's you're choosing. No one stop you from doing that. But I need to add all these things, especially another one is weapons and health systems. We have the health systems in there. Just going to test them to make sure that the AI knows the difference between a boss, let's call it a minion, right? So think elite in Halo and grunt in Halo, whatever I just said. So the grunt in Halo obviously has lower health, right? You shoot it a few times, it dies. The elite, you got to shoot a lot more. There's certain mechanics of you shooting in the head a little more, it dies a little faster. So those type of things we have to add in the game as just a base mechanic. So when you prompt it to say, "Hey, do these things," it has that base mechanic available. So we'll get there. It's gonna take some time. I hope you guys know when I say beta, don't expect it to be perfect. Don't expect any of this shit to be perfect until a certain time. And I'll be honest, that might be a while. It'll be fun. The game will do what I say it's gonna do. Things will work better than others as it goes along. We may retract features later on and notice that okay, this is probably gonna put us in technical debt rather than having a full polished game. So if any of those moments come up and be fully transparent about it, I'm not gonna, run from our own problems because that's kind of bullshit. So what I will do is always be honest on that. But the job mechanics to me is important. So definitely within these next 12 days, I gotta make sure that's in there because I know people are gonna eventually start generating these assets more and more. And as that happens, we need to be able to like rig them right at upload. We do have partners that we're working with too on a 3D side. So there's a lot of 3D text to 3D models out there where you can text your prompt and then the model will actually populate this object, right? So I need to figure out who are the best partners there because we do have a few that we're using. But ideally, I want to aggregate all that information to the players so they know what type of quality of generation they're going to get, and as well as getting the premium ones maybe up front. So premium assets are generated first, and then making sure that's available to players to now generate their assets, list in the marketplace, and then even list it in their own games if they want to, right? So these are the things that I got to do. And then obviously, lastly, is going to be the Manifest Arcade, which is going to be the most important feature, in my opinion, of this whole thing. Because you can create a game all you want, but especially if it's multiplayer, you want other people to play it, right? You want people to go online and be able to try your game. If they love it, it might blow up, etc. So I want you guys to be able to share your games that you create with this game. And I want it to be obviously in a place where it's accessible, where the whole public can easily go and use it. So I'm not going to say it's going to be done between the 12 days, but definitely within the month. We'll have a beta version of the arcade. Arcade's not hard, all the foundation is done. The only hard part is making sure games are safe. So there's two routes to that. There's me go hire a team of testers to now test out the games as they come into the pipeline and say, okay, now I developed my game. I want this game to go on the arcade. That sounds all good and nice, but there's operational costs for that as a business, right? So I'm trying to keep this as slim as possible, especially as like a personal passion project. I'm trying to just, do this as slim as possible I can. Obviously, the more it grows, the more it scales, I'm going to have to get more people to do things so it's an efficient machine. But there are ways to get around this if I do it correctly, right? The game really, or not even a game. Let's say I built an AI to actually play these games. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Open Gym, I think it's called, and there's like another one for Pokemon where you can actually put the AI to go play the Pokemon game and it'll literally complete the whole game for you. Almost think about it like when you're playing with a computer on the AI, right? But just do it vice versa. So instead of the computer being one of the things in the game that you're interacting with, the computer is actually interacting with the game to make sure one, the game works, and two, the game is safe enough. And what I mean by safe, it just doesn't have weird shit in it. Like we're gonna be expanding this globally. We're gonna have games all the way from E all the way to mature. So we want to obviously segment our players correctly by age. I don't want kids going into a mature area and seeing crazy shit that they not need to be seeing. I don't want them running into weirdos that are making them do weird shit. That's not the platform I'm building, right? Like the platform I'm building is supposed to be safe, it's supposed to be engaging and fun, right? Ideally, fun. So to make sure that happens, I have to do this type of check systems to make sure these games go in and out safely and at least are categorized and filtered so it doesn't go in the wrong hands, right? And just as a parent, I just think that's important because I wouldn't want my kid going through all that shit, right? So I'm really gonna head first focus on that once we are in beta release for Manifest overall. So that's what may slow it down because that's going to take some time to think. Well, we will have just lives based on that. So I'll go over that topic more and more as we go. There's just a lot of topics that I got to cover, especially from older programs we talked about in the past. And I want to talk about how all three of these programs that I mentioned will come together in a sweet way, right? So Self OS, I mentioned a lot. A lot of you guys actually signed up when I was talking about it, which is very cool, and I thank you for doing that. But Self OS had to take a pause because I had to just figure out like how is this really gonna work because I'm trying to build pretty much T-Mobile, but AI focus, if that makes sense, right? So you have this unlimited plan, which I would love to be free. Everyone could just have a free phone, and it's paying itself because of the usage of that phone. Why does that make sense? Because ideally, people are building AI programs every day. They're constantly needing more and more processing power. So if your phone was able to process some of that power, you should get rewarded, but some of that should go to your bill, which makes it free. So that is the thought process here. And recently we made a good partnership, which now expands us out to 70 countries. So now, over the next 30 days, we have this training process with ourselves to understand more of how telecom works. I'm not saying we don't get it because it's not that hard to comprehend, but we need to understand some things like our baseline cost of what it costs a average user on our platform. Because once we understand that cost, then we can actually push that further as we go along and understand, okay, this baseline cost costs this, so that means it needs to have this many rewards per user, which means this much AI usage across all of our platforms and any other platform that a developer may come in and use our API keys and do so. So it's math, and we have to figure it out because any of those numbers being off can be detrimental. I don't know why it's so dramatic. Can be detrimental to the program over itself, meaning self OS, right? And when you look at something like Manifest, it's not cloud based right now, so the models are running locally, but at some point it will be cloud based, right? Because I want it to be accessible to anyone, no matter what, be able to log in, go right into Manifest, create your games, or play games. So for that to happen, it can obviously happen from a game standpoint because going on a cloud nowadays as a game is easy. But what's hard is having an AI model now being attached to the game and running out on a cloud, right? So the only way to really segue that is to use something like Self OS. And thankful for us, we built a edge distributed network. So eventually, Manifest, once it goes in the cloud, will be using what I call resonation. Resonation is the edge computing data center, right? Not a big building. Think data center of many devices, meaning cell phones, meshed together to make this big data center, right? So technically, overnight, we can become the biggest data center based off compute and processing power, which I mentioned before in previous lives about self OS, right? That was the whole point of this. So now, when you see something like Manifest, you can see it as a product that can be using this infrastructure and how AI can live without needing a full blown data center. So ideally, that is the move that I got to do. I'm doing both at the same time, which is a little psycho, but I'm doing both at the same time to make sure that this actually goes through. Manifest being this AI game that can generate games, you talk to AI or whatever. Self OS Resonation being the Self OS is the mobile network that your phone is on, and Resonation being this edge distribution network, right? Put all three of those together, you have a pretty cool system going on. But they have to work totally. So why I'm saying this is that Manifest probably won't be on the cloud until we figure that out. So around March ish, maybe April latest, we'll get it on the cloud. And then from there, you guys can log in. You'll see it on the cloud. You'll be able to play, share your games, play other games, etc. And that I think is where we will really hit some hard headway because it's not going to just be local based anymore. It's not going to require you to have this large PC or just a gaming PC overall. You'll just be able to have any device, really. I mean, I could even make it mobile friendly eventually, but it gives the ability for it to have multiple devices to connect to it, right? Think VR. So instead of you playing on a screen, you're generating this world in real life, well, in the virtual reality life, and being able to live it in that way. That creates a whole new world of simulations that can be created through Manifest, and it can grow from there. So, my segue. Gemini 3. I mean, no, sorry, I keep saying that shit. I've been saying that all day. Like, I think it's too many G's between Google, Genie, and Gemini. It's just too many G's for me. But, Genie 3. Recently it came out. I'm sure you guys seen it. It was actually maybe, I would say 4 days ago, maybe five, when they made their announcement of Genie 3. So people have been going a little crazy about this idea. Now, you look at Manifest, you look at Genie 3, they're pretty much the same in a lot of ways, right? Um, why they're different, in my opinion. Genie 3, main focus, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but their main focus is for AI trading. And I'm not saying that's not ours too. We will eventually get to that route. And not meaning AI training, taking your data and doing that. It's something about AI learning. Like, think about you having a job, and now you're in orientation of this job because it's your first day. And now what happens, right? In orientation, what do? They show you the ropes, they show you exactly what needs to happen, they do it visually so you can then regurgitate, copy, and do it again. That same thing is what AI needs to. I can give you a sheet of paper and say, here's all your instructions, now go work. You're gonna come back with some questions, right? You're gonna say, hey, how do I really do this if you've never done it before? So people don't see AI as that thought process, but that exact thing happens with AI, where AI doesn't really, it knows because it's smart, has the data to be smart, but if it's never been in that predicament before, you can see where it hallucinates, it fails, or doesn't execute the plan as well as you thought it would. And that's because it doesn't have a visual representation or example of what it should be doing in real time. So manifest over time will become that naturally because, we're an AI company and it should. But we do want to keep it fun. So I'm not gonna say like, hey, now it's this AI program and that's it. That's not what's happening. It's always gonna be a game, and there will be a game always in public. But what it will do for AI developers is give them a reason to now train their models in a different standpoint, right? Creating a world where this world can actually help the AI visualize how it lives in that world and mimic everyday life in some type of scenario where now it can do those scenarios in real time. So that's life. That's where this shit's going. Genie 3, they announced that's exactly what that's going to be. I haven't seen any launches of games or, plans of games that Genie 3 plans on doing. But hey, if they try to do it and they do it, well, I welcome it. I welcome the competition in any way, right? Because for us, I think we just have a different way of going about it overall, right? They're looking at probably more of a global type of data center thing where they're building data centers all over the world and taking up a lot of space. And for me, I don't think we need all that. I mean, of course, with some computers, but we're just not there yet. I mean, quantum computers, of course, but even at that time, like, I don't see where phones won't get stronger processors to keep up with the computers as its kin, right? We've always been in that realm where the computer, not saying it's just as strong as a computer, but hasn't been far off on the processing power in some ways, right? It's just a handheld computer. So I do see eventually quantum phones or some type of device that goes into the quantum layer of things. So we can always be on the other side of stuff, is my point. We don't always have to be, you know, looking like everyone else saying, hey, we're going to build a data center as big as Manhattan. For us, I don't see it. I mean, hey, if investors, board members, and our team convince us, I guess we have to. But if it was up to me, I would avoid it at all costs because I just don't think you need us doing the same thing as everyone else. I think there needs to be other people on the planet looking at this from a different angle to make sure, one, if all these data centers go down tomorrow, who runs it? And I think you guys seen in multiple occasions, especially recently, where I don't know if it was Verizon or whatever phone provider just went out, and everybody was pissed because it was out the whole day. So imagine that shit happened with AI, when all of AI was out and we were super dependent on it, meaning it was running our systems, it was running everyday life, it was operating stores, banks, etc. And now it just went off. What happens, right? I don't know if we think about that too far because there's a lot of reasons of why that could happen. I'm not going to sit here and name every one to scare people, but there's a lot of reasons of why that could happen. So for us, I just want to I want to be the generator in a way of it not requiring so much power or not requiring so many things for this thing to work. And the best way to do it right now is cell phones because there's just so many out there. There's so many people with them, and it just makes sense to be able to share this processing power throughout a network and reward the people for doing it instead of paying one data center. And I've been saying this for a long time. Instead of paying one data center and going to one company, I think this can be shared out through many people throughout the world. Just makes sense. So that is the key. The key is to get this out in a way where people understand both sides of this coin. It's not just manifest, it's not just self OS, but we're showing the example of how AI can exist on this planet as a cool platform that everybody wants to use, but using a whole different way of a network that has never been seen before. Or maybe it has in the past tense and I just don't know about it. But as of right now, doing my research, haven't seen it. So I think I can say that pretty confidently that we're doing something different. So with that, that's the goal, right? The goal is to make sure we get this done and make everything engaging as much as possible. Now, Self OS and Resonation, those are done programs. I don't really technically have to do too much more except activate you guys as nodes. How is that gonna work? Is as simple as, okay, for the iPhones, we're gonna release a test flight. The test flight will allow you guys to start earning with the app. You'll have this personal AI in your phone, just like people have Claude but having this personal AI in your phone, you're able to do more actions. If you want to give it parameters, you can give it whatever parameter you want to give, and it'll start doing those actions. The only thing it won't do, being truly transparent about this, is calling out outside of the self OS network. So the AI you can call, right? You'll have a self OS number. You'll be able to call everyone as a human. But AI, there's laws, right? There's laws right now against the AI from doing AI calls and calling everybody and their mother to do whatever, right? Because at one point people were using it for a lot of scams, which of course, right, that always is the key. Scammers always get the shit first, right? But what needs to happen eventually is that we do need to loosen up that law. But in the meantime, you could do AI calls to AI calls through the Self OS platform. So if there's one self user and another self user, you can have those calls go back and forth because you guys are signing terms and conditions and you're staying within the platform, right? So that I think we can do. We need to clarify one more time with attorneys to make sure, but I'm pretty sure we're good there. So from there, you'll be able to, have this network of calling and everything else like Clawbot's doing of action based stuff, you'll be able to do on your phone. And then, as Resonation has more models available for developers, will tell you which are the most used models at the time. So if you want to earn more rewards, you can put it on auto, which means that it will download and delete or let's say uninstall and install models in real time. So if one model becomes high in usage, it will download that model. You'll be become of that process. So now, when things are being generated from these developers, you're getting rewarded because you're helping these developers run their programs. The models that are lower usage will let you know and say, hey, this model is not being used. You can have a manual push notification that you can choose to switch, or you can keep doing it through the auto, and the auto will actually do it for you. So that's how that's going to work. And Manifest proudly will be one of the first products that we're going to push hard on to make sure we get enough usage to make these rewards happen. So not only are we giving you an AI game that to create games, but ideally you're getting an AI game that will help reward you as we go along. So that's the mesh in my idea that's we're trying to do. That's what's making this a little more complicated than it should be, even though AI games are complicated and games in general. If you are a game developer, I just want to clap, bro. Because honestly, I played, what is it? Isla, I think it's called AILA. That game just came out recently. I'm debating if I want to play it right now, but like, bro, that game is really fucking good. It's really good. I give him a lot of credit because it's very futuristic in a lot of ways. It does remind me of Resident Evil because of some sounds that it has. Some of the buttons are the same too in Resident Evil. Some of even the game mechanics are the same. But even with all of that, it's still a good ass fucking game. And like the storyline is good. I don't know if I'm even maybe I'm 10% in, maybe 15. And I ain't gonna lie, yesterday I thought I was gonna shit myself. I was like, bro, there was a couple times where I was scared. Like I was like, I don't really want to turn this corner. Like I know this corner may not have nothing there, But if it does, it's gonna scare me. Like, so you know what I mean? Like, it caught me on my toes a few times. I was like, oh shit. So like, what I want is to be able to create these good quality games just like that. And it took a lot. You could tell like it was a lot of developers working on it at the time. There was probably a lot of graphic work that went into it, a lot of thought in the storyline. So in order for you to be able to generate a game like that with Manifest, this AI companion needs to be all those people at once, right? And as much as you have an idea in your head about how a game could be, you kind of have to let the AI be the companion too. Meaning, like, the AI may think of something you didn't think of, and you should be open to. I'm not saying just do whatever the AI says, but the AI makes, let's say, for example, you're creating a horror game. And now the AI is like, ooh, we should add a jump scare right here because as players are walking by, the jump scare can scare them. And that information alone could drive your game from here to here, right? Because you have more scare points in your game, people are more on their toes as they're playing, and it's more viral for streamers like me that are playing these games and, just trying to get content, clips, etc. So you kind of have to let the AI do that, and I'm gonna make sure the AI is smart to say and recommend it at the right times. But that's what I mean by it's so important to go a little backwards on my conversation on why the voice is important, because the voice is what actually allows that to happen because you're conversating about your goals, and now the AI can give input within that goal setting and say, oh, so you want to do this as a game, how about we do this as a recommendation? You guys agree? Game generated, right? So that's the goal. One thing I did like about uh, Aya, I gotta go play it again and go see how they say it because I forgot. But let's just say AILA, right? Check it out on Steam if you haven't played it. Now, that game, they even have an AI character in there. And it was interesting for me to see it because that's exactly what I see with Manifest. And it said a couple of things that I was like, wow, this kind of touching on Manifest a little bit, where it was like, hey, the game is, learning your patterns and we're using your data to create a game that's going to help be engaging to you, right? And what's interesting about something like that is Manifest can do that with the right parameters, right? Manifest can do it, one, if you give it information on yourself. That's easy, right? You can share information with yourself by connecting apps, connecting things that you may have watched. If you're watching Netflix, Hulu, any of these streaming channels, and you allow it to see your history, it might be able to see the types of movies you just watched. And if they were horror movies and you're trying to create a horror game, it can reference some of those points of where it was scary and where it wasn't. So I think that's where I really want Manifest to be smart in, right? Not just be this AI game creator, but be this AI that understands the emotion of a user, right? Because to captivate the emotion in real time as someone's playing is important. Being able to say, okay, this potentially can scare 70% of the players that play this game. That's big. That's pretty big, especially if your target is horror, right? Because if it is, you captivated the moment enough for people to either want to play it again or talk about it. And any one of those is great for a game. So I think that's where, I'm thinking this through all the way to make sure, okay, that's where Manifest is heading. And that's exactly what we need to do. Because if we don't do that, I just think it's like any other competitor that may come up as we're building this. And, as an AI company, it just makes sense for us to think about the AI experience as it's going along. And that's kind of what's in my head nowadays is how much could this AI really do as it's creating these games? Now, if you think about sports, etc., those get a little funky because of licensing. So, anybody ever watching this, any that are dealing with licensing or any of these type of celebrities, please reach out to us because we would love to create some likeness contracts. I would love to have the ability to showcase people in games as a celebrity, but also as let's say NBA for example, where we can create our own version. I know that might be hard from a licensing standpoint, But I think as programs like us go along and we scale, they might think about it a little more. So I'm just time stamping this conversation at this moment right now, saying, hey, if you see this, know that approaching us is a very smart idea because the things that we probably could do with it is probably better than what's already happening today. Not talking shit, just being real, right? So that's how I see this. That's why I think it's going to go over time. In the meantime, we're going to keep doing our thing. We're going to incentivize our players to create their own avatars, put them in the games, and your avatar will be able to be used in the game as long as you list it on the marketplace and do it for free or for paid, depending on your preference. I'm expecting more of you to do it paid, as you should, right? Because you should get paid for your likeness. But if anybody uses a 3D generator or uses ours and goes, hey, this is just a basketball, I'll put it in there for free. Great. And we do need to figure out a way to make that monetizable for you too. I do. I don't want people just to make free assets for no reason. That's it. Something should happen, whether it's credits or something like something. Just because you helped another game get created, I'm very avid on trying to reward the person for being a part of something, right? So just gotta figure all that out. It's gonna take some time. Again, this is a business. This is a game too, but first and foremost, a business, right? So I need to get that all the way through to make sure it's making sense. But other than that, I mean, the game's doing well. The game is going. What did I do recently? So I think I added like 15,000 assets, maybe less. I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot of fucking assets. I'll tell you that. So I gotta make sure they all work. I'll go through a testing phase. I do want to start using Unreal Engine on here and showing you guys what I'm doing, and I will do that. But I do want to get to a certain spot because I have to go back and forth between code and different stuff, and I don't want to keep switching my screen, right? Because then I have to switch what I'm sharing. So let's say I'm sharing Unreal Engine, which is one program. When I go to another program, now I gotta literally come back to OBS and change it again, and it's just like it's getting in the way of my own development work when I could just be in the flow, get it done, and then show you what happened. So there will come a time where I'll figure that out, where it's not gonna be so nuanced, see going back and forth and lose my fucking mind while doing it. Um, but it's not today. I'll tell you that straight up. It's not. But it will be soon. It will be soon. I'll definitely figure out a time where that makes sense. But I will also, in the meantime, come here, show you what I did, tell you, explain it, and talk it through with you guys and be like, okay, here's where I'm going. I do need to start plugging in our Discord and other channels so you guys can talk to me directly about the game, because especially as it comes out, I want to hear all of your opinions, all of it. Especially if you're a gamer and you prove to me that you're a gamer, I want to hear your shit. I really want to know what you think because gamers are what's gonna make this thing go from here to here, right? And I'll say that again. It's literally gonna be you guys. So I need to hear the opinions on people that played sci-fi games. I need to hear the opinion of people that played fantasy games where think Zelda, right? I didn't play Zelda. I know as a gamer, probably not the best statement to say because people are like, oh my god, you didn't play fucking Zelda, you're a little bitch, right? Nah, like I just didn't play it. Like it wasn't for me. I did play a lot of other games though, a lot. I'm probably thousands of games deep, but Zelda wasn't one of mine. So, gonna be honest, not my forte. I'm not gonna know exactly what you want, but I did play things like Spyro, Crash, and those are not the same. I know they're not. I'm not comparing them, but they do have concepts of the game that are similar in some ways. So I do know what a sci-fi fantasy game should have, but I don't know how to make it the best for you at that time. So the only way to do that is to invite you as that type of gamer to say, "Hey, give us some input here. What do you want? Like what are we missing? What should we add that will make this whole experience better for everyone else that's in the sci-fi category? Because I know you guys are gonna eventually split, right? Everyone's not gonna be in one category. You might have horror as one category of people and archetyped of player in our game. Then you may have sports. You might have someone that's just about football, not soccer, football, right? American football, right? Where they're creating their own, let's say, blitz, for example, and now they want exactly what blitz is happening, where like you hit the person hard and the fucking bones break and all this other shit, right? So we can add that to the game, and we can make sure that it is added to a point where you can take the game as far as you want to go. But we need to know exactly what that is. So what's cool, you don't have to technically chat with me to make that happen. You will be able to talk to the AI. And the AI, at some points, will be able to generate itself if it's not too far off of the code it already has within itself. If it's very outlandish, it may not be able to do it. But what it will be able to do is let us know. So it could say, hey, I got this type of request. I don't have the assets, for example, for this request. If it says that, it'll let you know and go, hey, if you just go generate these assets or allow me to generate it with your credits, I can go generate this right now, bring it right back to you, right? So that it can do. But game system mechanics is where it gets a little funky because if you know Unreal Engine has two parts, well, actually a few more parts than two, but they have blueprints, meshes, skeletons, bones, all those other things, right? And blueprints, for example, is what's like the functionality as a mapping of what's happening between a particular object, mesh, or whatever it is within the game. And I think I said this on the last stream. But even though the AI could create blueprints, it needs references. So let's say you were the first one to create that reference. You may help the next 50 different type of blueprints that come from that reference. So that's why listing on a marketplace is important, because once you list that in the marketplace, it gives an archive of who did this. So later on, when there's renditions of this, you are still getting rewarded in some way. So being honest with you guys, like it's really gonna be the help of you guys that really takes this game from 3 star to 5 star, in my opinion, right? Because 3 star, like I said, at confidently, that's gonna be easy with us. We're gonna be able to add all the basic generics of stuff and be able to make this make sense. But 5 star is that overall experience just being great all across the board. And where that comes in is that we're covering all ground in all categories. We're not just this one category game. We're not just an open world game. We're actually a game that you can use to make any type of game in any category by having these categories well done. So that's the goal, right? That's what we need to get to, and we will get there. We just gotta again be very consistent on building in the technical standpoint. We gotta be very consistent on reaching out to players, getting them in these conversations, getting them engaged, and getting them to just overall be a part of this building process so the game gets bigger and better over time, right? So it's gonna be some shit. It's definitely gonna be some shit. Having fun though, I'm not gonna lie. It's different. It's pushing my brain to different layers that I never thought it could go. Um, Only because it's allowing me to see a 5 to 10 year plan before it even happens, right? And being able to say, okay, where do I see this game in 5 years? Where do I see this game in 5 months? Where do I see it in the next year? Next February, where do I see this game? Where does it need to be a good game, right? So think Fortnite type of build. Think of, we're not gonna release many versions of this game, so we're not gonna say, okay, here's Manifest 2. No. We're gonna keep it Manifest probably forever. I don't think we'll ever have a Manifest 2. But never say never, right? But what we will do is always upgrade, update, and improve on the code that already exists, and just update the current game so it does more. So think ChatGPT in its early days, I think ChatGPT now. It's just a way different platform from all different features and functions that it has nowadays versus just the chat that you were able to do when it first came out. So that's kind of where we are with the game now. It's not that it's just chat, but it is basic on, you know, uploading objects, assets, changing things, and short conversations as it's doing these things. But as it grows, as I mentioned, everything that I said before is the goal of where it needs to go. So we're gonna keep working on it. I have a lot to show, have a lot to do. Um, Tomorrow I'll be able to show more, it'll be a later stream. I'll probably be like 9 o'clock or 8:45 ish, right? I'll start posting this on social media too, so I can get more of those followers to come on here. So we're doing a lot better than the other day. I mean, before we only had like 2 viewers. Now we have like 100, 103, which is a lot better. Uh, not saying it's great. Not saying that we're knocking it out the park, but we're doing a lot fucking better. It gives me a little more hope on my channel because I was like, oh shit, like I lost everybody, but I didn't. Some are still back, so that's cool. But yeah, like um, I'll definitely come back tomorrow with more updates, live updates that I can show. Like I said, the voice is important, so I'm gonna knock that out tonight just to make sure shit works well. And then tomorrow, hopefully, I have some of the driving mechanics done, so I can start driving cars and showing you what that looks like as the cars are being driven. Because it's not hard to add it; it's just the sounds I want to be perfect. The graphics I want them to be able to interchange. So if you want to say I want the graphics to be like this and I want the graphics to be like this, and or like let's say I want to be like more realistic versus more pixel like, I would say, you could do that, and you might want to combine the two. So that's another thing. So I gotta add that in, make sure all that shit makes sense, because once it's in there, I don't gotta do it again. Give it to the AI. The AI will be able to generate it and improve on it itself, which is cool. So, my only step is just making sure it's in. It works a little bit, and then we improve from there. So tomorrow, hopefully, I'm there and I can show you both voice and drive mechanics. From there, we'll probably push another update to Steam. Hopefully, Steam does release a demo in between now and the 17th, because I do want you guys to be able to play it. If you're on Steam, if you're not on Steam and you want to play it, just go directly to the website and you can download the launcher. And in the launcher is obviously the Manifest game. And every time I push out a build, it automatically updates the launcher to let you know, okay, there's a new update for Manifest, and you can start playing it. So that's the ways to get to it now. But I know Steam alone will bring a lot more players, a lot more engagement, and we can start talking to the community in different ways to improve this game overall. So that's the goal, and that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, man, some shit. This gaming stuff is some shit. Like I said, I give a lot of developers credit because it's a lot that goes into games. And to be able to simplify this shit to where anybody could create a game nowadays is crazy, because it's like vibe coding to a whole other level, right? Because everybody is talking about vibe coding in so many ways: Cursor, Lovable, all these different platforms that allow you to build apps. To do that with a fucking game, though, I think we hit out the park. I really do. Um, and it's not no bullshit either, which is crazy. Like it took time. It took time. 16 hours per day. And yeah, it's a lot. Like I'm tired thinking about it. You know what I mean? But it's fun. It is what it is. We gotta put the work in, because you don't get the trophies without putting the work in. It's not about the trophy. The trophy to me is seeing you guys have fun with the platform. Me be able to come on Twitch and seeing other people playing Manifest and actually enjoying the game, or just overall engaging with it. You know what I mean? Like that's the trophy for me, because then I'll go, okay, like we did something good, and now I can listen and learn from even your guys' experience on how it could be better tomorrow. So that's gonna be a fun spot for me, because I'll really enjoy watching you guys enjoy the platform. So that's the goal. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep going. I'm trying to think, is there any other updates am I missing? So I know obviously you guys could see that it is a Twitch category. Whoever's watching, not forcing you, but to help us expand the usage, followers, etc., go follow Manifest Anything as a category, right? That allows it to get more views, more people to use the category as they're streaming. And of course, if you have the game, please make sure you use the category as your stream so people can see what you're doing in it, right? So it could be saved later and people can actually watch and learn about manifest as they do. So that's one. There's about, I would say, 100 assets I'm gonna add to the marketplace. Between different characters and things. Like we're gonna add more animated characters. That's kind of a weird way to say it, but like think Pixar. So we're gonna add more of those. Because we don't have enough. So I've been like adding cartoonish characters on there. Um, we do need to add maybe 5 to 10 more horror category, and then from there I'll go into like shooters, sci-fi stuff, fantasy stuff, and then I gotta do all the objects. Well, the objects are already in the game, but I have to put some on marketplace too. We have to separate some of the objects because they're just, if I put all of them in the game, it'll just make it too big, way too big. And I think from the last Steam upload, it was 90 gigs. So yeah, you're gonna need some data to download this game. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully, I can get this game to compress a little bit. I don't see it compressing by a lot. When we did the math with the AI, it somehow said I'll be able to get it down to 5 gigs. I think that motherfucker's lying to me. Cause there's no way I can get 90 gigs of data to 5. If I can, that's crazy. Cause Call of Duty should do that shit right now. Cause every time I download Call of Duty, it takes up my whole PlayStation hard drive. Like all of it's Call of Duty. Like, and I have one of the first versions of PS5. So like, it's not saying my hard drive's huge, but come on, bro. Like, all of it's crazy. So I don't want to be that game. I don't want to be taking up all of your stuff. Even though you are creating games through us, and it's not just one game, it's many games. Um, Still, I don't want to be like max. I mean, with the whole game, I want to be like 150 gigs max. Max. Like it should not go anywhere over that. So to compress it down from now is important, so I don't ever hit that 150 mark. If I can compress it down even to like 60, I'm kind of happy, because 60 is a little more doable, especially if you're downloading the game. It's gonna take a little bit if you have shitty internet. I hope you guys don't. I really hope you guys don't. I hope you guys got some fucking fiber in your house, bro. Because if you don't, expect like 2 hours, minimal. Maybe no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna shit on my own game, but like expect. I'm trying to think what it took me last time with my internet. My internet, it took me about 30 minutes to test, so a 30-minute download, which isn't terrible. It's not terrible, but it's long, bro. Like I know how people are. I know how I am. I'm not. I'm the most impatient motherfucker on this planet, I think. But like close, definitely close. Runner up if best. Like mad impatient for no fucking reason. Like I can't even stand on a line longer than 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like I'll do it. Obviously, like it's society tells you to. But like if I had a choice, I ain't stay on that fucking line. So like yeah, like ideally I don't want you guys to wait mad long to get this game. And I don't want it to take forever, and then you get it and it's like, oh, now I gotta do an update, and that update's long. You know what I mean? Like I want it to be fast paced, but unfortunately, having all these assets, even with the 15,000 I just mentioned before, like that's it's a lot of assets. It's a lot of fucking assets, and I'm honestly not talking about maps. And maps, if you are a game developer in any way, you know maps are fucking huge, right? Depending on what the map is. If we're talking Grand Theft Auto style map, oh boy, oh boy. So I gotta make sure that this shit can load well, and we'll get there. We'll get to a point where it will be able to load pretty good. We'll compress it down, but definitely in between demo and beta, don't be mad at me. Just don't. Just go back to this live. Go back to what we in? We're in a minute and 9 seconds. To go to a minute. No, sorry, 1 hour and 9 minutes in the live, and go watch this again and just make sure you heard what I said, right? Ideally, I want to bring it down, but right now, yes, the game is high in fucking memory. Nothing I can do about it yet. So, other than that, the game's gonna be cool. The game's gonna have a lot of things that I think you guys are not gonna be expecting, because I went above and beyond of game creation a little bit, even as far as the title screen. I made sure that could happen, right? So you may want your own personal or customized startup screen. Yeah, well, startup screen, title screen, whatever you want to call it. You'll be able to do that, and you can do it through adding videos as a background, images as a background, add your custom sounds, add music, etc. So that's something that'll be there. So the goal is to obviously show that Roblox is not even close to us. Not in a bad competition way, but in a way of you ain't touching us on AI for a little bit. You're gonna have to get some AI developers to go compete with us. Have fun. But yeah, like that's the move. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna obviously keep showing people what we can do because I think we've been like shelved. At least I feel shelved. I feel shelved like an artist that you haven't heard and ever, but have been writing songs for other artists for years now. And I think it's time. I think it's time. It's time to sing the song. Fat Lady's like not singing yet. She didn't even start. So it's like for me to be calling anything over anytime soon, it's crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna make sure that game comes out. Make sure that it's definitely good. But yeah, demo's gonna be a little funky. 17th should be a good day. Should be a good day. We should be launched. I think the time is the date is February 17th. I think the time that it's releasing is 1:17 ET um AM. Yeah. So a little weird time, but it's all good. That's the time that I chose to pick because it was there. Um, Not strict. Obviously, again, that's Steam. The game will be released on the website before that. Like I said, the demo's already there, and the beta will have a faster launch date. And look at the website as like a nightly build, and look at Steam as more a production build. So we'll give Steam the most like what's the word I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say clarify, but that's not the word I'm trying to say. It's like the most polished version of the game. And our website will have like the nightly build is what they call it in dev terms. And the nightly build is basically everything we just did. Some things are tested, some things are not fully tested, but we're still releasing it anyway to see your opinion. So think of the website being that. So if you have the launcher, you can choose to have that nightly build. You can go obviously like by default it will give you the production one, but you can choose to get the nightly builds, and every time you do any type of updates, you'll get it right away. Before our polishing process. And the polishing process is going through testers and making sure things work. Once that's there, then we ship it out. So yeah, I mean, what we at? Like 12 days, bro. 12 days, but we'll get it. We'll get it because what I did in a month is crazy. So 12 days don't scare me at all. What does shake me a little is that I know you guys are gonna stream it at some point. I do know I'm gonna see it on Twitch. So I gotta make sure it's polished enough to showcase with other streamers, especially bigger ones, and make sure nothing crashes, nothing crazy happens. And as of right now, I think we're good. There's no reason for anything to crash. We're not server dependent, so if anything, like we should be good. Um, but yeah, I just want to make sure it's polished. I don't want to put out a shitty game anyway. So if for some reason the 17th comes up or we're approaching that day, and I'm like, oh shit, personally, I'm like, we need to do a little more. You'll see me right here on the stream and be like, hey, demo 2 comes out. You know what I mean? Like, demo part 2, and it's just like upgrades to the original demo to just get it going and keep the speed and momentum going, right? Like, if it's really far off from beta, but I don't think it will be. There's not that many features that I need to do for beta to be perfect in a way of saying the word beta, having a decent amount of features, being monetizable, and getting players to sign up. So I don't see that being far off, but we'll see. Anything can happen. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm trying to think if I miss anything. Um, we went over Self OS. We went over fucking Manifest. When Harmony. Oh yeah, Harmony. I'll bring back up in a little bit. Harmony's a pain in the ass. I'll talk about that in a whole different stream because I really want to keep this one manifest based. The only reason why I brought up Self OS is because it includes manifest because of the distribution. But Harmony is like a program like manifest, is this chat. And to be honest with you guys, try to keep up with ChatGPT as a chat platform is like almost, I don't know if I can say this word and I probably shouldn't, so I'm not going to. Let's just say stupid, right? Like it just is. like it sounded smart conceptually and on paper and in decks, but when you like start building it, you release it, you start getting users, and then you like see your users go up, and then you see your users go down, and I mean like daily users, not like the ones that signed up, like that always goes. But I'm like the monthly active users and the daily active users, you see that number spike up and down, and I'm like, the only way to make this thing spike and go consistent up is to obviously build better than ChatGPT every day. To be honest, it's just me building it. So imagine me, black ass me, fucking sitting here typing, you know what I mean? Prompting, typing all day to try to beat ChatGPT. Like, it's all right. That's not to say I can't do it, but it drove me fucking crazy over time. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And then after all of that typing, I gotta come on stream. I gotta fucking market the thing. I gotta explain to you and why it's better. Know for a fact that there's some things in the game. I mean, things that in the fucking chat platform that are just not better than ChatGPT. And even if I do make something better, the next day these motherfuckers are making the same thing, if not better. So I'm like, all right, like, what kind of weird ass hole did I put myself in? I'm sitting there rolling around in the dirt looking dumb as fuck. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna nix this for now, but I will bring it back up. Harmony, honestly, probably would be like the function chat of Self OS. Other than that, I don't know if I'm gonna put up as a full blown platform yet, unless we come up with a scenario of it making sense to live as its own platform and everybody can use it as this all-in-one tool, which was the ideal thing that we want to do. But being honest, building that shit, realizing like how many features go wrong at certain times, it was constant. Like, yo, I released it, 10 minutes later the shit's broke, and I'm like, nobody touched it, I didn't touch it, all it did was go on the server. So why is it broke? You know what I mean? But that would happen all the time. Like even to this day, there's broken shit in there. You know what I mean? So have to nix it for now, but it will come back. The ones that have signed up, we will create a link for you to go in there and play with it and use it. But I'm just not gonna market it. I'm just gonna. This is probably gonna be the last time for a long time for, well, let's say short time until I start talking about Harmony again. But for sure, the ones that have paid, the ones that want to use Harmony, it's going to be open to you. You'll be able to use it all day, and we will build on it. I'm just not going to repeat it 100 times like I was doing before. I'm going to focus on one thing, which will be manifest. And as things go along with other platforms, you may see other people talking about it more than me. They're a part of me, because they'll be a part of the company. But there'll be more people talking about Self OS probably more than me. But you know where it came from. So if you want to talk to me about it, of course I'll be open about talking about Self OS anytime, all day. Right? But it's just not important for Twitch. For me, what's important for Twitch is Manifest. This is a gaming platform, if not a streaming platform that took it way further than gaming. And now I need to bring a product that makes sense for this platform and my platform overall to this, right? And that's what Manifest is going to be. So from here on out, you're going to hear me talk about Manifest a lot more than the other platforms that I build. But if you want to learn more about me, anything else, you go to Self Labs. You can see everything we're doing. Any of those things are open for discussion at a personal level, email level, whatever it is. But from a stream, P2P, Discord type shit, let's talk Manifest. Let's try to manifest anything we want. Let's get shit done. So that is my update for the time being. I will be back here at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Damn, I'm really thinking about playing Ayla. I'm really thinking about playing that. Huh. Maybe I'll play Ayla tomorrow. I'll play it tomorrow, right after I show you the updates on Manifest. And then we'll get into that. Because honestly, I want to reference this game as we play. And I want to talk about how Manifest is going to have this incorporation in it. And maybe I can even show you a real time, like not comparison, but let's say like reference point. So we play a little bit of Ayla, and then we go back to Manifest, and I say, all right, let's try to add the same component we just went through with Ayla, and let's add it to Manifest. I think that would be pretty dope, because now it's like I'm not copying the game. Don't sue me as a developer or as an Ayla developer. Don't sue me. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not copying. I'm just showing an example of how Manifest can create games, but using you as that reference point, because I just think you're really good. I'm giving you a pat on the back, a round of applause, whatever you want to call it, because I think that shit was good. And I'm not even done with it yet. So I do want to complete it with the people. I've started it with the people. So let's just do it. And I think including Manifest in the middle, win-win for everybody, right? So that's what I think we're going to do. But definitely, I'll show you driving mechanics, voice, whatever mechanics we got to talk about that I may have added. All the assets that I was talking about too, I'm going to add some on the marketplace, so I'll be able to show you what assets were added. There are 4 new assets on there right now. Nothing crazy to talk about. They're just animated characters. I'll make some more scary and more realistic ones. Anybody that wants an avatar, I'll give you guys, if you see this stream, I'll give you a week from this stream to reach out to me. You gotta find me. So if you go on my profile and you see my, whatever it is, however the fuck you find me, and you come up to me and you say, I want an avatar, I'll make your avatar for free. 1 week though. So that means on 2/11 the shit's over. Do not come to me at 2/11 Beck, I want a free avatar. You're gonna have to pay some money for that. And it's probably not gonna be me doing it. I'll show you how to do it with AI. It's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be the way I do it. It's not gonna be the same quality. But hey, you got your avatar. At least with me, you'll have a good quality avatar. So if you find me and you reach out to me in that time, yes, I'll keep that promise. I will do your avatar for free. I will help you list that avatar in the marketplace. And if you're being used in games, you'll get paid for that. So that is something I'll give you guys. You got 7 days to reach out to me. Do not fucking find this video after the 7 days and come to me and say, I want a free avatar. Don't say it. Just don't say it. Say it in between this time right now. That's it. Alright? So I'll see you guys soon. I'll be back tomorrow. And we'll get this shit rocking, get it done. Alright, peace.